Hey yo, how's it going everyone? Entropy here today with another video. 6 free triple rares coming soon to you through the new product, Super Decks. They are a part of the 1.5-year anniversary campaign coming soon to JP. What are they? How do they work? Which would I recommend? Let's talk about it. Really briefly, Super Decks will include a list revolving around the Break Ride era version of the clan. It will only include non-event clans and will have approximately 6 triple rares and 4 PGs. As we discussed in big news a few weeks back, all players will get 1 Super Deck medal, while new players starting from June will get 2 Super Deck medals. This is great, as many decks have pairs instead of playsets that you'd much rather prefer, so a beginner can either have 1 complete list, or have 2 decent skeletons for 2 different clans. Now, let's talk about my recommendations. Full disclaimer, I am human and I have my biases. You should too, so no matter how I list these clans and decks, pick the one you like. For example, I like Revengers, I'm going to pick Shadows. Done deal, right? Moving on, it is important to note that I will be factoring several criteria. First of all, ease of entrance. So the deck's isolated strength and the degree of completion, right? So how can the deck fare if I just trade in my metal for it and bring it to play, right? Like, can the deck actually function? Like, is there a winning image? What's it trying to do? What if I have 2, right? Is it good? Is it playable? Secondly is unit value, right? Like, for example, some units are very important for the clan as a whole. Maybe the deck doesn't really work that well, but maybe some pieces you really want for a long time, right? For example, Silent Top. Are there any alternative means of getting it, right? Is it a rank reward? Is it a tournament coupon reward? Is it a V-Metal shop exchange? Perhaps. If there are alternative means, I might rank it less so, because, you know, you have other ways to do it, and you only have so few Super Deck medals unless you buy them. Thirdly, Legion meta, right? Of course, you know, you pick stuff, pick decks, you want them to be playable, and that's important. Not only about just having an idea of what to do or like being able to do stuff, but how do the cards transition into the Legion meta? And lastly, longevity, right? So, you know, some archetypes we might not even see support down the line in G. So how good are these pieces, right? Like into the Legion meta, into the G era, or maybe down the line V era, maybe, who knows? But right now I'm just looking at most at the end of G and seeing how far down the line we can go. Of course, with all this kind of foresight, you know, Game Studio does like to make some changes here and there, so take it with a grain of salt. This is all my opinion, so I guess without further ado, let's begin. Alright, so I guess let's get started in alphabetical order with Angel Feather, Super Deck, Blue Wings of Healing. On the list here, on the right side, we can see that it is a Celestial core. We have 2 different PGs, of course. Generally speaking, this is how it works. You have 2 of the new PGs, 2 of the old ones. Nice balance. 2 of the reverse, 2 of the Ramiels and all that. I think this deck is honestly not bad for a Celestial player. The problem is though, Celestial do get Legion support, but it's not that good, right? And I think even like in the 0 version, it even got nerfed compared to the TCG version, which was already pretty mediocre, bad even, I dare say. I don't have much experience with Angel Feathers, but I don't really think that Angels down the line. I think in G, you know, you're playing Nociel, you're playing Gavriel. Some of the key cards like PGs and stuff you'll still play, of course, but not a lot of stuff that are splashable and good into G. I think the deck itself is going to be relatively weak in the Legion meta as well. So unfortunately, I have to put like Angel Feathers like C or D right now. Maybe I'm a bit harsh, but we can always adjust. I'll put it at D for now. Mainly because I'm not experienced with the Angels, so correct me if I'm wrong. Like, if you have an opinion and you have a lot of experience with Angels, let me know. But right now, what I'm seeing with results in JP is that Angels aren't really showing up, and you know, honestly, down the line in G, I don't really see a lot of these cards playing a big role, and it's not really even competing that well in the Break Ride era and global as well. So it's up with Aquaforce. This is a Maelstrom deck. We have some Basils, we have some PGs, self-damagers, always solid. A Glory, we have Maelstrom reverse. There's no Maelstrom though. Maelstrom deck without Maelstrom is a bit confusing. But one of the things to consider is that you can get these Maelstorms in the tournament coupon shop.
tournament shop. So, you know, I guess you can pick them up if you've played for a while already. You can get them as ranked rewards. Is Maelstrom showing up? It has seen some play. Is it popular? I don't think so. Legion support for Aquaforce, you know, it is Blue Storm, but it isn't Maelstrom. Isn't specifically Maelstrom stuff. Diamantes is always good. Basil is always good, but these are, you know, a few cards here and there. I think Aquaforce is pretty mediocre. You need a lot of resources to actually, you know, fully complete it. I think you can't really play Maelstrom without 4 Maelstroms. So I think it's might even be worse. I think the vanilla stuff like Diamantes makes it, and Basil makes the value. I'm gonna put slightly above Angel Feathers right now, but it's still pretty mediocre, you know. All right, we have Bermuda Triangle. Bermuda Triangle. One of the best things I like about this deck is that, you know, we have the whole Divas duet kind of situation going on, where you have, like, you know, both arts, which I love. You have the black art, you have the white art, you know, both, which is really fun. Bermuda always has some really crazy stuff support down the line. A lot of their archetypes, you know, Pacifica, Coral, Duos, whatever, you know, they all get a bit of support here and there. I think Bermuda, you know, this deck, it's a bit confusing. Vanillas here and there, but I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't play. I don't have experience with set 16 Bermuda, but I think if you get 2 of these, this could be a fun deck. But I don't think it's that competitive. Yeah, unfortunately I have to put it as D as well. But I'm really strict. I'm sorry, guys, but Dark Irregulars, I think things are gonna be turning up for the better now. Dark Irregulars, we got the nerf with Reiji. It's not really that popular anymore, but Dark Irregulars have a lot of staples here, right? The Chariots and all that, you're probably going to be playing this for a while. Reiji does get GRS support. Amon's getting Legion next set 19. So, you know, I mean, if you pull the Legion, you're going to get an extra Amon anyways, but I guess it doesn't hurt to guarantee it, so you can craft the Legion the Legion leader, I guess. Amon stuff, you know, they do get support from time to time. You know, Dimension Creeper is always good. So actually, I think I'm gonna put this at like I don't know. That B C. Let's say C for now. The Amons are a bit awkward because of what we know. Chariots are always good. Reiji's, you know, with the nerf, it's still solid with support. But Amon deck, actually, I think I'll put it at a B for now, like mid-late B, mid-end B, because of the support that we're getting soon for Amon. And we don't know how we'll fare, but, you know, a lot of the stuff here is relevant, so I think it's important to just put it as viable. Dimension Police, Dimension Robos, you have Dai Kaiser stuff here. No Dayusha stuff here, unfortunately. You know, Laurel, pretty bad card in 0, you know, didn't really get adapted well. But some of these stuff, you know, you really do want this all stuff, Dai Kaiser. The problem is with Legion support, with True Great Dai Kaiser, I believe is the name. You do want your Great Dayushas. This deck doesn't really give you that. A lot of the stuff, you know, is kind of awkward, really. I don't know how I feel about this deck. Somewhere here. Yes, the good thing is that you still have a winning image, which is like, you know, you can use your starter, you can go into Dai Kaiser, you can search into it, or stuff like this. But you know, I guess it's fine. DP, you know, they do get support from time to time, so yeah. All right, next up, Genesis. Genesis, I think, is quite solid. One of the things I want to mention is Hazardous Bob is here. You know, even they know it's an important card right now. I made a video a long while back, and I talked about how, you know, there's censorship in Vanguard We're not getting the self damager in the English game. I don't think it came out in the English TCG. I don't think it came out in Global Zero. So, you know, like, I don't know how this will translate to global if they do get the super decks. But anyways, Angelica is a ranked reward. We just had this Stand of Goddess event where you can get like multiple triple rares for Genesis. So, you know, you should have the Witch of Ravens already. If you didn't, I guess it's a great chance. Just like the unlockers, really, I guess this is fine. Mizuha's still a good boss. I think overall it does have an image. Like if you pick up 2 of these and you like slap on support from set 18 for the Genesis stuff, I think it's pretty good. Genesis is pretty popular. I think in the spring circuit, for JP, it was like, you know, at least 5% attendance rate. Pretty popular deck, pretty solid. I think I could put this in A. I could put this in A. You know, good as its base. I think a lot of key cards. Rank rewards, sure. Events, sure. But if you missed it, I think it's still a great chance to pick these up. They're always going to be staples. You know, you can't miss out Valencia and Grapes and stuff like that. And also great synergy with the Legion era stuff. So this is my ranking. Golds I think are golden. Zenith is just amazing, you know, with Bluish Flames coming along down the line. I think soon next week, Bluish Flames, definitely. I think we'll still be playing Zenith. You know, you'll probably still be playing Blaster Blade Liberator, Barkle, Balin on Flipper. You know, 2 Liberator PGs. You know, I don't think Bluish Flames get new PGs, so these PGs are quite value. So I think I'll have to put these at S. Actually, I'm gonna put this at S because even in global right now, you know, Liberators are meta. You have a lot of these cards that are just really good. You know, you have 6, 8. You know, you can replace these, but I think, you know, these are still solid. 7+3s when you Superior Call. Blaster Blade, you're always going to want these. One of the weaknesses of this deck, which I'll put this as like a low S tier maybe, is you don't have the Break Right slot, but I don't think you'll play this in the Legion era. One other thing is that both the Zenith and Blaster Blade are ranked rewards. But again, like, you know, I think just the sheer fact that these cards are so good, and you do need to take a while to grind these tournament coupons, coupons, if you missed out on them. So I'll put this as S simply because of its meta relevance, and you know, having so many core, you know, good units so far. Next up we have Great Nature. Great Nature I think is pretty great actually, with all things considered. You know, the Hummuskays are always nice. You know, the chickens are always good, vocal chicken, especially since you don't have all your pieces yet. If you get 2 of this, I think this is a really solid deck. With Legion support, I think it's great. You know, I think it's pretty solid. It has a nice image. It's very, it does what it needs to do. Even these, right? Kangaroos on hit Caramelis 2 stand 1 unit. It's a bit overcosted and it's not that popular, but I think it's still a decent unit to actually have in a starter deck. I've actually put this in A. Maybe B. End of A. B. 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 It's hard to compare sometimes because you have some, like, do you have any units that are like super long term? Like, sure, I guess, but like, you know, they're not that high rarity. But like for darker regulars, you do have your Chariots and Rages and stuff that have very much long term value. But this deck does work pretty well by itself, I think, is the most important thing. You know, duck bills, you can get these in the View tournament shop. So I guess if you do miss out on this, you can still exchange swap for them. But I think overall Great Nature is actually pretty great by itself as a deck. I think it's pretty good. And Legion support, you know, did it good. It's mediocre. It's not bad. It's not good. It's not like meta good. But I think it's a good place to start. Yeah, it's good place to start. Kagero is, I think this is pretty good. I think it's really solid. 2 PGs of each. You know, this might be a detriment to many of the other super decks, sorry. But with Conroe, you can actually pick and choose which one you want, which I think is a really important skill that you need to pick up on, you know, if you're progressing as a player. Gojos are always good. Nouveau Roman, I wish they had more, but, you know, it's fine. Kersey's always good. So, I mean, this cord's, you know, it's so good. Strike in, you have your Belkasi on flippers, you have your Nouveau Critic, 2 Nouveau Vags, Dauntless is a rank reward, but doesn't hurt. Dauntless Dominate Reverse. The other grade 3s are a bit awkward, but you know, just because of the bulkosity of the strike-ins and having a good enough, you know, Novel Vag core, and the ease of actually using this just from one deck overall, I think I'll put this in S as well. Kagero is still really popular in the Legion era. I think it also had like around approximately a 10% you know, show rate, popularity rate in the spring circuit in JP. So down the line, I think it's still a good. Of course, you're missing stuff like the end, and you're missing stuff like Overlord itself. Overlord you can get in the V-Metal shop. The end you can't. It's hard to pick up. Maybe some stuff like Berserk you might want. So maybe A-ish, but I think it's still really good. Like if you can only pick one up, I think this is one of the ones that I would really consider. Link Joker is solid as well. Infinite Zero is a rank reward. Chaos Breaker, you know, Chaos Breaker does get, you know, Chaos Breaker support in G, which is pretty disgusting. Like hand locking is good. 4 PGs because this is the only PG that they have. It's Starvader name, it's good. Palladiums are you know, always solid. Singularity Sniper is always good. You know, 12k beaters are fine. I think this deck is actually pretty solid. These units do, like, you know, the 12k attackers do get reprinted because they do become a Legion mate in Legion era, so maybe less valuable, but Legion Starvaders, Legion Link Joker is still Starvaders. Chaos Breaker I think is always going to be a solid unit. You can use it early game to lock stuff. And you know, I think it's overall really good. So I think I'll with my own bias, I think, you know, Link Joker is a really solid clan. So I think I'll put it at an S. You know, we also had an event where we had a free Nebula Lord, so that could be your 13th unit. And overall, I think, you know, Starvaders just has a long kind of presence in the meta overall, and I think it's pretty solid. Maybe I'll put a Genesis up here. Maybe I'll put Link Joker down here. But I think overall, anything above B is something I would consider. Maybe I'm a bit strict. There's nothing on a C yet, but we can fix it later. Now Rukami, personally, I think it's personally one of the best decks out of the box. If you get 2 of these, I think you're good to go with Eradicators. The problem is, you know, like some cards do need Persona, not Persona, but Archetype kind of requirements. You know, some of these units aren't Eradicators. So maybe if you get 2, I think if you get 2, I think you basically have like a set 9, set 8, set 9, set 10, set 11-ish kind of meta deck, right? Eradicators was always on top. Problem is, you know, Legion era, Narukami, we're playing brawlers, right? We're playing brawlers, and maybe the PGs are good, maybe the Phoenixes are good, maybe the Desert Gunners are good, but everything else irrelevant for brawlers. By itself though, it's good. I think I'll put it at A. Maybe B. Long run wise, I think maybe Eradicators don't get a lot of good support down the line, so it hurts. But as a deck itself, I think it's pretty solid. Maybe I'll have to put DP. Maybe I'll have to put DP and Great Nature down here because they're not really relevant-ish. But maybe like this. Novas, one of my favorite clans. I think Novas are really solid. Blouse, they don't get support for quite a while, but they do get some support later in G. This deck as a whole, if you get 2, I think it's really good. The thing is, again, like with Legion Novas, we're playing Risers instead of Blouse, but that doesn't mean Blouse is a bad deck necessarily. I think by itself it's really strong. I think even right now, like a combo variant is good. So I think I'll put it at like A-ish, something like that. Some stuff, PGs, you know, like PGs are always gonna be good. Blau Core, Golden Anglets are nice. Transrisers, you know, always plussing. I think it's solid. One of the weaknesses, if you pick this up by itself, is that, you know, you only have 6 grade 3 Blau targets, so you can't really break right on Mon that effectively. But if you pick up 2, I think it's a really good deck. I think it's a really good deck. OTT Battle Sisters, they become briefly they become meta in G, right? So that's something that is important to consider. If you're playing Tsukiyomi, you know, you do want these PGs. I guess Toms are always a catch, you know, just a kind of kill button if you can. But Battle Sisters right now, I don't think is really that relevant. If you want your Toms, you can get them in the V Tournament coupon shop kind of thingy. It is expensive, like I mentioned before, but you know, like by the time Tsukiyomi becomes meta again in global, which is like in a few sets, because, you know, the game doesn't really wait for LB4 anymore. By the time we get back to Battle Sister being like suddenly meta for some reason, I think you'll have enough time to get yourself on Toms. I think it's still really good if you're just missing the Toms for like a Tsukiyomi deck or something. And Battle Sisters aren't that shabby. You know, you have 4 copies of something that needs to Persona Blast, which is something that we might not see from other decks. So I think you know, I put this at like B. I think I put this at B. Might not win all your games, but you can always steal games with Tom. I think that's the important part. Like, Tom is just so good as a card. And, you know, where OTT does get support really early on in G. It's not the best stuff, but with Tom, you know, I think it's pretty nasty in 0. Next up, Pale Moon. Pale Moon, there's no... I don't even know what this is. It's just vanilla Pale Moon. You have a lot of vanilla stuff. Purple Trapezis, which was a ranked reward. You have your Dreamy Fortress, which is always good. Break Ride, I guess, but this deck is pretty bad. I have to put this like somewhere here. Maybe the worst deck, really. Yeah, worst deck. Maybe something like this, you know. Maybe something like this, right? Legion support for Pale Moon looking pretty bad. Silver Thorns, I don't see a single one of them except the PG, I guess. So, think that's pretty much enough said. Dreamy Fortress might have value in the future, but Hari and stuff, I don't know, you know, that's too far down the line to say, because we don't know how they'll adapt it, I think. But it's important to recognize that, you know, G Pale Moon, I think Dreamy Fortress will be an important piece. So if you're interested in playing Pale Moon down the line, I think maybe pick these up. But you know, as a deck as a whole, just overall, it's pretty weak. So Royals, I have to put up here. Like here. Yes, here. Yeah, okay. I think honestly, best deck. Jewel Knights are solid by itself. Like if you pick up 2 of these, you have your Salome, you have your Ashley Reverse. You don't really need the Break Ride. Ganslot is great. You don't need Miranda because you're playing the Blaster Blade Ganslot kind of thing. Overall, the main reason why I'm putting this at top tier is because Royals are always a great budget deck. It's easy to pilot, easy to get into Sanctuary of Light. You know, you have your blasters, and even right now with Seekers, you know, you're still playing these. It's so good that people are calling them to get like nerfed again. PGs are always good. These are Legions are fine. Everything else is Jewel Knights. You know, might not be too relevant in the Legion era, but what I can say is that Seekers is tier 1 right now in JP. You know, and most popular deck by far. And if you don't have your Gan slots and Blaster Blades, it's hard to play any Royal deck. So great place to pick these up. Blaster Blade, yes, you can get in the V Metal shop or the V Tournament coupon shop and all that, but Ganslot is rare. Like you're either rolling some like Revival Collection, like deck support gacha, or it's kind of rough city. It's kind of hard to pick these up again. You know, Q4 maybe, but why are you wasting your packs on those banners, right? So I think it's honestly just the Ganslot and Blaster Blade alone just puts it up, you know, really good. And you can see, you know, Ganslot, Blaster Blade, Royals, Golds, you know, they're just popular, I guess. And Shadows, I like Shadows. You have your Blaster Dark Revenger, you have your Doreen, you have your Tartus. These cards are probably going to still see play in Abyss, which just got revealed, so please go check that out. You have your Revenger PGs, which you'll still play. Revenger stuff, I think, you know, carries down into Legion, which is great, but In G, it does fall short a bit. Like I don't think there's specifically Revenger support. Like even the first like Revenger stride, like Raging Raptor or something, um, wasn't really actually that great. Um, Overall though, I think, out of the box again, if you get 2 of these, you're basically getting like a set 12 meta deck, with Theorem Weeds, with Raging Forms, with like Mordred Phantoms, with 4 of these. Like I think this deck is really good if you just like pick up an extra one if you're a beginner. I think it's a really good place to start. I always recommend people to go for Revengers, mainly because I think it's a pretty central kind of idea. You have a decent mid game, strong mid game with Tartu and stuff, and like I'm flipping, and also you get everything from one set really from like set 12. So I think if you didn't pick up this super deck, I think it's still easy to complete all the core stuff. But with the stuff that we're seeing with Abyss so far, I think it's a pretty good pick. I think it would be like S right here. Mainly you're going for the six units here, 8, 10 with the PGs. These are fine, 14, and cars maybe 16-ish units. So that's a lot of units that are quite value. Overall, I think if you were a beginner watching this video, I hope you didn't tune out yet. Shadows is I think pretty good pick. Royals are a really good pick. Novas, OTT. I think a lot of these super decks overall, are really good by itself. But it's important to recognize, the meta relevance. It's important to recognize how good it is if you just get 1 of them, if you get 2 of them. If you have any questions, like of course these are all just my opinions, right? It's just all my opinions. Let me know down below. I'd love to chat. We have a Discord group that we were just talking about this kind of stuff just now too. And I always appreciate your inputs. Some clans like Angel Feathers, for example, I don't have a lot of experience in. So if you have your own perspective as an Angel player, like let me know. But overall, I think I have a decent touch with most of these clans, except for Angels, Bermudas, Pale Moon, Dark Irregular. Everything else, I think, there's a bit of bias you can see, like Angels, Pale Moon, like stuff I don't play as much is near the bottom. But that's also because I'm kind of like a meta chaser. I play competitively sometimes, and you can't question that Royals and Golds, they're good, really good, right? So that's basically it. That's my own like kind of shit list. Let me know down below what you think. Which one are you gonna pick yourself? Are you considering buying these? If you're a beginner, definitely let me know down below what your thoughts are. And yeah, I think at the end of the day, if you have all these cards, you can just basically pick whatever one you want from mats, really. But yeah, like overall idea is consider which one's your favorite. Consider which units are valued down the line. Consider how relevant the deck is and how relevant the deck is by itself and in the surrounding meta, right? So that's all for today. Hope you enjoyed. This was quite a long talk, but I hope you stick around. Like the video if you liked it. Subscribe to see more. Let me know if you want to see more of this kind of stuff. I generally avoid tier listing, but it's hard to kind of rank these decks without clearly having it visually there. I think there are like 16 decks, and it's hard to kind of give a decent idea without having to rank them. At the end of the day, this is just my personal opinion. So again, all that said in mind and done, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.